Where's your dip progression at? Are you at 0 reps? Are you at 1 to 2? Can you grind out a good 5? Are you in the respectable 10 to 15 range? Or are you elite and adding weight to your dips? What equipment are you using? Are you using parallettes? Are you using gym equipment for your dips? Are you rigging them up at home? Are you doing ring dips? Or do you have them set up in your home gym? There's a lot of things to consider while doing them. There's a lot of things to consider while setting them up. There's a lot of things to consider while programming them. In this video, we're going to go over all of that stuff. But first, I want to clarify parts of my past to help you clarify kind of what it takes to progress a little bit in the dip. Okay? This story highlights a fundamental principle when it comes to getting better at your dips. And I did it without even knowing. Okay? Back in my day, I trained with a system called P90X. And this was a Beachbody Tony Horton collaboration here. And it was free weights being dumbbells and a system of calisthenics at home. So it was a DVD you plopped in and you got completely shredded. It even came with a diet plan that I didn't even follow. Anyway, I followed that system with the calisthenics it provided. And by the time I got into my high school gym weight room, I could already bench 205 and do almost 30 dips at a body weight of about 160. So here's my point with all that is I got good and respectable numbers dipping just from doing body weight moves for my chest, shoulders, triceps, pressing movements. In that whole system, I don't believe there was a dip involved because all they claimed you needed was a pull-up bar and a few dumbbells. And you weren't doing dips with dumbbells. And I don't think he had rings attached to his pull-up bar. I don't remember doing dips in that program at all. But I came out of that program able to do dips very, very, very well. Okay. So my moral to that one is you need to be doing at least 20 to 25 good full range push-ups before you can hop on the dip bars and do a good 5 or 10. All right. So that's kind of the first consideration while doing any kind of dip training is you need a little bit of background in doing push-ups. That way you can go into dips easily. Now, I'm not saying you only have to do push-ups. You could probably get your bench up to body weight and you can do it. So whatever your body weight is, rep that for, 10 to 15 on a bench. You could probably end up doing some dips. That's moral of this is you can use a lot of rep training to build up to these heavier body weight moves. And dips are absolutely the king of upper body moves as far as calisthenics goes, as far as your pressing movements go, your upper body, your musculature. It's time proven. Always do some kind of dips. Put them in your rotation. Have them in there. There's a reason gymnasts still do them. There's a reason bodybuilders still do them. They're an excellent movement. Get to know them, learn them. Let's dive into it. So after that background there, I realized reps are king here. So what we can do to make your reps easier on dips is obviously doing them. Okay, no matter how hard they are, if you can only get one, do one. If you can only do two, do two, and so on, till you get up to 10 reps. Now, what I would recommend if you can only do one or two is do multiple sets of one or two. We've got to get it in our brains that repetitions create the stimulus and growth. So we've got to keep on pressing reps. So personally, if I could only do two, I would do two, probably rest 5 minutes, and do two again. I don't care how long that workout took, I'd probably get it up to 20 reps. 20 reps is a good amount to get a stimulus from. It's going to be a high effort yielding workout because two would be your max. So I would press it. I would hammer it. If it matters to you, do it that way. So if you're already up to 10 reps, do about 3 sets of 10. You know, the typical bodybuilding 3 sets of 10, it does work. Now, what if you can do over 10 or 15 or 20 reps? You can be a calisthenics purist and just do body weight. I personally like adding weight to dips. It feels good. It's impressive. So personally, my goal has always been to add weight to any body weight movement. That's just always been fun to me. It's cool looking. It's respectable. If you can bust out 2 to 4 plates on a weighted dip or pull up, that just makes you freaking alpha. That's freaking cool. I dig that. So we covered reps. And you got to get your reps in, no matter how difficult, no matter what rep range you're at. If you can hop on the bars and do 1 or 2, you should be doing them. Okay? And if you clicked on the video, you're interested in dips, that would be my recommendation. Okay? Get your reps in. Total workout should be up to 20 to 25 reps. If you're a bit more, or if you're more of an intermediate, you know, you're able to do 30 to 40 reps. You're kind of in the golden spot there. That's impressive. Okay. Now we want to raise our standards and add weight to it. We absolutely can do that. And what should your sets be? That again is also going to be subjective. However, I like getting my reps in. So if I'm only doing 2 reps per set, I want to get that number up to 20 for the entire workout. So it's going to be 10 sets of 2. That will work. It's gonna be a bit longer. You have to really get mental fortitude to do that, but you can do it. Okay. So the sets and reps depend on your rep max. I think that's a good way to measure what your workout should be doing, especially with calisthenics stuff. Since, in my opinion, most of it should be going to or at failure because it's easy to bail out, less likely for injury. So reps and sets are covered, okay? Do as many reps times as many sets to get about 20, 25, 30 good reps in your workout. Doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. What type of equipment should you be using? So I'm going through the 30-day calisthenics challenge, as some of you might know. So here at home, dips look like chair dips, which I'll showcase here, and ring dips on my pull-up bar attached to my doorway. And props and highlights to my doorway for having the architecture of gods, because it's holding my over 200-pound butt up there. Impressive. So if you're at home, you need to do dips, you don't have anything to do dips with, just grab 2 chairs of equal height and get to work. If you have anything to weigh down the seat of the chair, that helps. Otherwise, you got to kind of press or push out a little bit on the chair so it doesn't tip over. If you have just a tad a bit more money in the wallet, get you a pull-up bar you can attach to the doorway. Those are about $30. Get you a set of rings. Those range from 50 to 100. But if you have those 2 items, you pretty much got a home gym. I'm telling you, you can do anything with those 2 items for upper body. Amazing. I do amazing workouts where I'm just to the bone sore just on a pull-up bar and these rings. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Highly recommend it. If you're in a gym setting, there's probably dip attachments on cable stations. There's probably a dip attachment on the assisted pull-up and chin-up machine. And there's probably, sometimes you could find them in a rack, but usually you can find a dip station somewhere in a gym. They have them. They even have dip machines, okay? So if you can't even do body weight yet and you want to get better at dips, you can do it in a machine. You can bypass my whole idea of you have to do X amount of push-ups to get to the dip. You can just bypass that. You can go on the machine, okay? This is a bit more catered to the guys that are at home. But if you're at a gym and you have that machine, by all means do it. I like them too. I like those because you can lean a little bit more forward to do more chest. You can lean a little bit more back to do triceps. It even has a back pad you can really press up against. If you press up against the back pad on that machine, different forces are at play, and you can kind of press off that pad, kind of like a feeling of a bench press, but you're still doing a dip. Feels amazing. I like any kind of dip motion. So what exactly is the dip targeting on your body? This all depends on, number one, your anatomy. Number two, your elbow angle, your shoulder angle. So if you're leaning more forward and your chest is more parallel to the ground while you're dipping, it's going to hit more chest. Think of it as a decline bench, right? The lower you bring your bar to your body, like closer to, the top of your abs, not nipple height or clavicle height, you're hitting more of the chest musculature, and that's what the dip is doing. That's the motion it's mimicking, is a decline bench press. Okay, so that style of dip will hit more of your chest. Now, if you're more upright, your body's perpendicular to the ground, and you're doing your dip, it's going to be a lot more tricep and more shoulder heavy. And I say shoulder heavy because it takes a lot of mobility, in my opinion, to get dips up that high. So I can do a leaned over dip any day and target my chest. That feels amazing. But if I'm doing dips on the bars where I'm upright and my shoulders really got to reach back and my triceps are really on fire, it's a bit harder. But that tricep pump is unmatched. Dips hit different muscles depending on the angles at which you do them. Your chest and shoulders are a stronger structure for dips to be done with heavier weight. But if you want to challenge the back of your arm and your tricep a bit more, just be a bit more vertical while you do them. How far down should you go? Again, this also depends on the person. A lot of people will experience some sternum pain sometimes. You got to be very careful about this. I was lucky enough to never experience that. However, I never jumped into dips without having the background in those push-ups. So there could be some merit there. That could be all anecdote. I'm not saying that's what you need to do to mitigate your sternum pain. This is for entertainment purposes only. Not a doctor. Don't know about your pain. What I will say is, if something hurts, don't do it. Okay? There's other ways to hit these target muscles. If something's going on, something doesn't feel right, probably shouldn't be working through that. But how far you can go down is all about you and what you experience. So if you have that full range of motion to do it, go ahead. Now for me, I like going right at parallel, my humerus, upper arm bone at parallel on all of them. That's just where I feel like I can reverse the movement and still have enough force to press me up higher. I hope that makes any type of sense. And I've done workouts where my range of motion is shorter. I'm able to do about 15 to 20 ring dips. I've done workouts where the range of motion is longer and it cuts my range to 8 to 10. So both have merits. Both have a foundation in muscle building. You got to choose what works for you. I like them both. I do them both. Depends on the day, depends on how I'm feeling. But do the range of motion that works for you, that you feel the target muscle working in the most. That's what matters. Doesn't matter what someone else says about it. Okay? Doesn't matter what anyone else says about your range of motion. You got to do what works for you. I don't know why that's so hard to understand. I've done a bit more research on if full range matters, partial rep matters, length and partials matter. Guess what? None of them matter. It doesn't matter. They're not above the foundation of hard training, discipline, consistency. Okay? Nothing is above that pillar. Nor those pillars. Nothing's above that foundation of those three things. Nothing. It doesn't matter. As long as you're working at it, working hard at it, resting enough to grow. You nail those three things, you pretty much got exercise science capped off. It's done. It doesn't really matter after that. So I've covered reps, I've covered sets. Your intensity of effort should be high, at 2 or close to failure. If your goal is to get really good at them really fast, frequency is going to be 2 to 3 times a week. If you're going to that 3 times a week mark, dips might have to be your only pressing movement you do. Just try it out. It's all trial and error. That's what anyone can do. That's what you can do. Another key principle of seeing progress faster than anything else is to do them first in your workout. Get the stuff you want to get better at quicker out of the way sooner while you have the most energy. If you work out 5 days a week in a row, do them first on your week. And that's usually pretty easy to do. The first day of the week is usually Monday for a lot of people. And that means it's International Chest Day. Just switch out your bench press for dips. Shouldn't be that hard, right? I think they feel better than bench, and I might completely swap them out for bench. Who knows? I also get in tickles and fancies of doing bench press. I don't know. I like switching things up. If you haven't noticed that by now, I like doing different things all the freaking time. It's good. It's good for the soul. So, of course, my call to action here is to raise your standards when it comes to calisthenics movements. Get your dips up. It will show improvement in your upper body aesthetics and your overall strength in whatever movement you're doing for upper body. It'll help your overhead pressing power, your bench press power, your dumbbell work power, your shoulder health, rotator cuff health. I fully committed to believing that dips are the best way to go for upper body development. They are truly the squat of the upper body. The other call to action is to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this kind of content. I would much appreciate that. I like going over everything. Fitness is my life. Love it. I have endless topics to talk about. Now, what are some good regressions you can do real fast? You could always use the same chair you're using for chair dips and do them with your feet on the ground. I'll show you that right here. So this is a great way to get some volume in for a dip style motion if you're tuckered out after doing your main dip workout and you still need to get more reps in. This is a great way to do that. Targets, in my opinion, more of the tricep, but you need tricep strength. But you need tricep strength anyway to progress in your dips. So it all works out in the end. It is time for me to go. Hope you liked the dip workout video, and I will see you guys next time.